Tacos. We'll go get some. It's Saturday night down here, so things are bustling. If you get out of the tourist towns on Saturday night, people are just chilling, doing their thing. Oh, it's okay. Okay, there's little Cokes. Little Cokes. What do you guys want? Because it's for, I got you a taco. So do you want a little Coke? Do you want a baby Coke?
Yeah.
Okay. Un Coca. Para ti. Okay, it's total.
50.
50?
Sag
Oh, you speak English.
Yes.
Be nice. Don't be impatient. Okay, grab all those and take them down to Mama. So what you do is you go to the little store there and you get a Coke. And careful, no falling. I don't want no owies. The lady down here, we just went out for a little bike ride, and the lady down here is making some tacos on the street side. Can you imagine? Like, I think that the people from like the food department in your state would actually have a heart attack if they saw like people just like setting up a table outside their house, and she's making tacos and fresh taquitos, and there's all kinds of good food. They found us some chairs, it looks like. That's good. You guys got some drinks? It's looking good. Everybody got a taco?
Titus, is this yours, Daddy?
I got that for me, Mama. Here's some Powerade if you're
Titus,
thirsty.
sit in this chair.
There's some good looking food going on there. Hola, buenas tardes. Yeah, we're actually, we're just out for a little bike ride this evening in Borda Blanco. Back there, what you're seeing is a little roadside food. Just a lady who sets up table out here on a busy evening like this. One thing you'd see that's very different in Mexico from Estados Unidos is that if you go out in a small town on the weekend, people aren't only structured into like organized events or maybe a church event or a concert or in their houses, right? Watching TV. They're just wandering the streets, hanging out, visiting with each other, saying hello. And that's how it goes. Hey guys, I see your comments in there. Good to see you guys. It's almost dark here. Hola. And, but camera's doing okay. And so what you see here is normal, right? People just hanging out in front of their places of houses / businesses. People in the streets just chilling. And the stores, there's a fruiteria. Fruiterias are always nice, full of good stuff. Fresh fruits, vegetables. It's starting to actually wind down a little bit, but you see they actually just set chairs out in front of their houses. Down here is a big party. This street's closed off. We actually rode around the other side, but somebody's having, I might actually be able to walk that way. I don't know if it's open or not. Let's just see if the street's open. This is in Borda Blanco, which is near Tequis, San Juan, an hour from Querétaro. This is Querétaro State is where we're at. It's gonna be loud because they're having a party in the street. So it looks like they got a big old generator going to run the party. Party driver right there. It's just set up in the street, guys. How about this? I doubt they got a permit either. Somebody's wedding. Looks like somebody's selling something out of the back of their car. Can't tell what's going on here. Oh, they're selling candy. Hola. ¿Es dulces?
Sí.
¿En vende? Interesting. Oh, por la boda. Necesito dulces. Let's see what they got here. ¿Qué es?
Galleta con chocolate.
Okay.
Pasita con chocolate.
Like,
This is Frankie's.
por los niños gusta la gummies. Poco por los niños.
Son ositos.
¿Mande?
Ositos, panditas.
¿Es por kilo o por bolsita?
Por bolsita le puedo dar 5 pesos.
Ok, 2 bolsitas. Un bolsita lo comes. Un bolsita juegos. Sí. Over here is a wedding where they've just taken over the street and they're having a wedding. And over here is somebody, because there was a wedding, they brought their car full of candy and they're selling candy out of the back of their car because that's cool. Because everything's not illegal. Okay, is 20? 10 pesos. I think they probably just closed the street and had a party. Hola, buenas tardes. Okay, 20?
15 pesos.
15, okay, bien. Good selection of candy there, too. Gracias. Buenas tardes.
Como yo te lo...
Here.
Sus niños.
Por dulces. Share, okay? Por todo personas, okay? Here. Mixto. Here. For everyone. Por todo, okay? Go ahead. Here, hang on. Let me get you some more. Por todo, okay? I don't know the word for share. That's just people chilling. This is what it looks like on a in an evening in a small town Mexico, just walking the streets. Needless to say, all the propaganda, with the exception of a few areas that are struggling because of the U.S.-sponsored drug war, you actually feel quite safe. You'll notice everybody's kids are just running around the streets doing their thing. And speaking of kids, hola, buenas tardes. There's a little arcade over there. How about that? I was like trying to tell them to share the money because I didn't actually have enough coins for all those kids. But I gave them like 30 pesos, so they'll be able to get some candy. I think they get the idea. Hopefully the adults standing around will... I'm so used to how gringos behave and how our society is so kind of hostile and selfish. They're actually very amazing at sharing here. And I think that's taught to the kids as well. I'm trying to block this wind. It's a little windy walking this direction. But no, people that have virtually nothing, right, will offer you a meal or just be really friendly. And somewhere on one of these streets I left Sandra. Let's see. Now people are just chilling. It's a chilling time of night in the little cities. Now, see, I've done a lot of videos in Tequis. In Tequis, it's a little more commercialized, right? Because it's a tourist town, not a gringo tourist town. So Cancun, understand the differences here. Cancun, a place like Cancun is a gringo tourist town. That's not real Mexico. Then you take a place like Tequis. It's real Mexico, but it's a little bit swankier, right? Because it's where the Mexicans go to vacation. And then you come out to these small towns, and this is real Mexico. You guys get some tacos?
Now they have drinks.
Did you order yourself some?
Well, they brought drinks now, huh? They're ramping up. You all have a drink of that. I got some gummies for you guys. I found a lady selling candy out of the back of her car. This is a normal sight here. This is a fairly quiet town, actually. It's a pretty small town. I don't know how many people live in this town, but it's busier on a weekend day like this, right? So on a weekend, people are doing their thing. But yeah, they had some Dorados there, which are like taquitos, I guess is what we call those. They're probably actually different, but they're like the taquitos that we're used to from the gas stations in the States, except for they're not like them at all because they're real. They're like the real deal. Tacos, of course, those are a staple. Real tacos, yeah, just made by a lady on the street, right? And other than that, it's pretty cool. So people are just having a good time. They're visiting. They're walking around, saying hi to their neighbors. They're having a drink. They're having tacos. They're having weddings in the middle of the streets, and it just kind of makes you think. It should make you think. If it doesn't make you think, your slave mentality has taken over, because these are all things that are restricted. Everything I've showed you tonight is restricted. Virtually every commercial enterprise, entertainment enterprise that I've showed you would be restricted, permitted, and controlled. And if people in the U.S. did it the way they were doing, police would come with guns and they would take stuff from them and they would write them fines and they would have to punish them, right? Everybody who says, I should have rights, but the immigrant should have to have papers. I shouldn't have to ID, but the immigrant should have to ID. See, all people are created equal. There's no difference. And as soon as you start treating people as different, you lose freedom. And that's what started happening right at the beginning in the U.S. And that's why I think we weren't able to retain the Republic. That's why the U.S. is gone. It's just a flaming husk that has yet to burn out yet. And when people run around waving flags and pretending they're free and saying, oh, Mexico's terrible and we're so privileged to live here. No, you're not privileged at all. You're a slave. It's not a privilege to live as a slave. And guess what? Freedom and human rights aren't a privilege either. They're a right. And when you don't have them, you are a slave. So when you say, well, we give up some of those for freedom, right? The troops defend our freedom. No, they don't. The police don't defend your freedom. If these people were defending your freedom, we wouldn't have a USA nation of slavery that is the #1 fascist nation on the face of God's green earth. Is Mexico perfect? No, far from it. But I just showed you once again just how people live and how the personality of that life. You should see something from the personality. Don't let them enslave you. Don't let them enslave you with the NWO created immigration propaganda, the police propaganda, the government and the troops are keeping you free propaganda, because we're not free. I don't know if there's any nation on this earth that's free, but I can tell you that the USA is one of the least free. And when you talk to people that have escaped the USA or who are not from the USA, they all recognize this. It's only those of us who have lived our lives under the propaganda of the USA that do not. So maybe I sound crazy to you, but I've seen the USA. I've tried to stood up in the USA. I had to leave the USA to escape their concentration camps. And I'm trying to make it elsewhere in the world with my family. I'm gonna go see how these kids are doing. See, this is a restaurant. This is a street restaurant right here. Just somebody set up a table and they're cooking food because that's freedom. And because it tastes a lot better than your FDA approved chemical filled stuff. We're down here looking for freedom, looking at the options, trying to figure out what those are. As for the IRS and the banking and the money, yeah, that's trying to take over everywhere. We'll talk about that more in the future, because I am actually discovering some interesting things about that. And it's fascinating, but you know what? It's not perfectly free here. It could be better, and I hope the people stand up for that. I don't know if anywhere in the world's ever been perfectly free, but I can tell you what, don't believe the propaganda of the nationalists. They have vastly more freedom, order of magnitude more freedom here than anywhere in the USA that I've seen. And I've gone, well, pretty much all over the USA. So don't live as a slave and tell yourself you're free. If you have to be in the USA, if that's where you are, that's where God's put you, if you have to be there, don't pretend you're free when you're a slave, because the worst slave is the one who thinks he's free. And anyways, guys, yeah, patreon.com/Gavin Syme if you want to support our shows, and lots more videos like this over on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Gavin Syme. I saw a bunch of you guys that I know in there, so shout out, good to see you guys. Resist blue ISIS, love your neighbor. And you have anything to add?
I'm cold.
It's not cold out here. You turn into weenies down here because it's basically eternal spring. They don't have winter, right? So everybody's all cold if it gets below like 60 degrees.